the Black Panthers, saying that we hope to overthrow the United States government. There also was the Weather Underground. That was the left-wing terrorist group, the blowing up of ROTC buildings, hijacking of airplanes. Terror was a regular thing in the 60s, especially from the state to everybody else, from spying, suspected, what do they call that, COINTELPRO, and all that sort of thing. So Lucas has got to say something about that. So, and to buttress this, when Return of the Jedi came out in 1983, the 4th, 5th, 6th chapter of Star Wars, the Ewoks. George Lucas said the Ewoks are like the Viet Cong. They're going to take on a high-tech government and take it down. He said this. It's in Time magazine. I think I got the issue. Amazing how he said that, and it just didn't make a big stink. Today, with Trump in the White House, it would make a big stink. But that's what the Ewoks were supposed to be. Again, I took my mom to see this movie, and she said they're cute, but they're kind of like pickaninnies. It's kind of like the Pickaninny Planet. And I could never get that out of my mind when she said it, the Pickaninny Planet, you know. Nice, cute little colored kids, children, you know, just like the old South would pat on the head. Because they were furry, so I guess, you know, rubbing an Ewok is good luck. But nonetheless, that's what he said. That's what he was trying to do. He was basically redoing the Vietnam War and posing the evil empire in Star Wars as the United States government. So whenever you see the evil empire, it's the United States government. Now, here's the thing. It's no accident, and I'm going to say this, there's no such thing as innocent art. So when everybody says it's just a cartoon, it's just a this, it's just a that, it's not. Everything has a reason to be. And it is thought of long before the first set is built and the first camera rolls. There are no accidents. There's nothing accidental. If the black guy is the hip Huggy Bear guy and he can't be one scintilla more intelligent, it's because it was written that way. We're going to have this guy be like that. Nothing is accidental. There is no innocent art. I agree with Mao Zedong on that. All art is political. Now, in the evil empire of Star Wars, you'll notice it's run by white men exclusively. There are no black guys in uniform and officers telling everybody what to do. No. All white men. Preferably all British white men, just to buttress the point, because Britain was the great imperial empire before. Now, the modern multiracialism of Star Wars. You see a lot of black people now. You know, they got lightsabers, they're Jedis, they're just all over the place. In a book called The Making of Star Wars, a big coffee table book about this size, and it takes 2 men to lift it and turn the pages, but it's got beautiful pictures and art and drawings and various ideas. The modern interraciality that you see in Star Wars today was supposed to be there from the beginning, because in this book, it details that Lucas wanted to get the great Toshiro Mifune from Seven Samurai, Hidden Fortress, I believe even Throne of Blood. The great Japanese actor, samurai king, prestige guy. If I could get him to play Obi-Wan Kenobi, I could sell this movie. Originally, Princess Leia was supposed to be Asian, like the princess in Hidden Fortress. Okay? And Glenn Turman, an actor you might remember from J.D.'s Revenge. He was supposed to be Han Solo. Yes. So, and of course, Toshiro Mifune, who was supposed to be Obi-Wan Kenobi, that fell through. And that threw everything into a bit of an uproar. So Lucas had to recast and start over. So there would be, see, this thing was supposed to be all interracial to begin with. It's supposed to start out that way. So he had to go with who was quickly available, and he said, well, I'm probably going to have to get a white girl to play Princess Leia. I'm going to have to tell Glenn he can't do it. I'm not ready to go there. This is a movie that's supposed to be cutesy pie and innocent, yet keep these themes of anti-imperialism and reckless, thoughtless wars and crimes against humanity. I gotta have that. Like, you know, I can't do the Holocaust. I can't do My Lai. I can't do that stuff. But I can blow up a planet with a Death Star, and you presume 7 billion people have been killed. Then you can be properly horrified at the nasties. So that's the reason why the original Star Wars turned out to be so lily white in 1977. I mean, there's only one black person in that movie, and that is an extra on Tatooine at the barroom area in that little town of Mos Eisley, the spaceport. He's just walking in the back. You see him, he's gone. It's outside. He comes across. You see him, he's gone. That's it. That's it. So, this seemed to be embedded in Lucas's failure to get the cast he wanted. So, unfortunately, the world wasn't ready for a black Solo kissing on Princess Leia. Anyway, even John Landis, the director who did Animal House, Blues Brothers, and Coming to America, he directed that. When he saw George Lucas's Star Wars, he turned to George and said, is everybody in outer space white? So the question was, now, I remember this when this film came out. I remember it well. The fact that it was a lily white movie. Everybody was white in it. I mean, everybody darn near, you know? Excluding the obvious aliens who were green or had snouts or what have you, okay? But it's an interesting thing, though. There are no weird aliens on any of the Star Destroyers, Death Stars, and various outposts of the Empire who are weird-looking aliens in Imperial garb. They just don't have them. Now, they don't have any... No, they're never in there. There are no aliens helping the Empire. No weird multi-tentacle guy going down the hallway on the Death Star in full regalia with an Imperial uniform. Everybody's humanoid and white male. Now, it got to be such a crescendo. People were joking about, man, come on. Star Wars, you got nothing but... Wait, Star Trek came out, man. You don't have... What are you talking about? And I guess it kind of got to him. Because immediately... 1978, they're starting pre-production on Empire Strikes Back. We're going to have a black guy, y'all. We're getting Billy D. Williams to play Lando Calrissian, y'all. And I saw some artwork. Again, another book, The Art of Ralph McQuarrie, who did the artwork for Star Wars. The big pictures and paintings to sell this to a studio that didn't understand what you're talking about. His artwork helped sell the picture. There's a picture of Lando Calrissian's flying city, the Cloud City on Bespin, where he lives. There's a picture of a guy with the cape and everything, but he don't look like he black. He kind of looks like Errol Flynn. So I can only presume that that wasn't what they were thinking about early on when they were getting ready to do the first. Then, of course, it was cool to have Lando Calrissian. You know, to this day, I've seen that movie a million times, but I'll get people today, mostly comedians, who mock Lando Calrissian with the black inflection. How you doing, Chewbacca? He doesn't really say it that way, but that just became part of the joke nomenclature among black people. We always put that on Lando Calrissian. So, now by Jedi, again, the Ewoks or the Viet Cong, but we got more black people. I'm saying this because the backlash to some of the later Star Wars films that have come out lately about it being too black, it's too womanly, or white genocide, no white men, we're the bad. Come on, you haven't been watching. You've been the bad guy from the very beginning of the series. You maybe when you were 8 years old, you didn't notice that because you related to the good guys. But you've been the bad guys. So come now. And of course, by Jedi, we have a second Death Star. The first one was blown up heroically by Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, who came out of the sun just in time to distract Darth Vader, which blows me away. So let me get this straight. Darth Vader's doing his Force thing. He's choking somebody. All you got to do is come up to him with a bag and go, pop! And he goes, what? Because that's essentially what happened to him. Pop! He loses his concentration just when he's getting ready to blow up Luke Skywalker. So the Force isn't all that every now and then. Meanwhile, Lando Calrissian destroys the Death Star in Jedi himself. He's in command of the Millennium Falcon, which was his ship. He lost it to Han Solo in a game. So he blows up the Death Star heroically. So the brother saves the day, as if to apologize to, man, we know what you're talking about. You know, this time the brother gonna save the galaxy, blow up the Death Star, and that's that. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Plus we had an Asian X-Wing fighter fighting the Death Star. You know, he blows up. You can tell it's an Asian. Then we've got other black fighters. So somewhere the black folk came back. Because this series it lasts a long time. This thing has been going on for over 40 years. There's about 9-10 Star Wars movies that you can look at now. I would say 11, 12 if you count the awful Ewok movies on television. So most Star Wars fans don't speak of them. But actually there's even more Star Wars to watch. Now, we have all this going on, and then today, with the new movies, The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, okay? Now, interesting, if you watch the first 3 chapters, 1, 2, and 3, The Phantom Menace, The Attack of the Clones, and The Rise of the Sith, you find out that the Imperial stormtroopers, those guys with the white uniforms and everything, who can't shoot straight, but there are legions of them, they just pour them into battle, come to find out they're clones. They were the clones of the Clone Wars. And they were made from a Latino person. The clone genes of a Latino person in the originals, you know. So there's that. So I guess, what does that suggest? That Latinos do all the work nobody wants to be, like a stormtrooper. But by the time The Force Awakens comes out in 2015, we have a black stormtrooper. Finn is the character's name. So he is a black stormtrooper. So evidently, the Empire did something the Republican Party didn't do. We're going to have to open up to more non-white people from other planets. We're going to have to start like loosening, because, you know, the future is alien and not us. And, you know, we got to start letting them in somewhere. And even that was controversial. What's a black guy doing? But again, we're going back to the left-wingness of Star Wars. For instance, the complaint that Laura Dern's character, Commander Odo, I think her name was, telling Poe Dameron, the flyboy, what to do. Oh, the stuff online was vitriolic. How come this feminazi talks to him like that? And I'm saying, come on, and that means Princess Leia's a feminazi when she tells Han Solo to stuff it and get his walking carpet pal Chewbacca out of my way. You missed all that. Again, the women of Star Wars have been continuously uppity the whole time. So it doesn't matter. I don't know what they're talking about. So they forgot all about Princess Leia. And one thing I like about the Last Jedi is it's a military. If anybody who's been in the military can relate to that movie very much. When you're kicked out of the high echelons, they don't tell you what their plan is. So why would they tell him what the plan is? It's a point of the movie. They're angry because they didn't